where are the low value men? Like, what are all the low value men up to during these trying times? Because the high value men, I know they're around. They won't shut the fuck up. Low value men, I have not heard a word out of. I'm starting to think I'm on their side. I think I want one of those. I want a low value man. They don't make podcasts. I haven't seen one low value man make a podcast. Do they not know how to use microphones? Maybe that's a good thing. That's hot. All right, I've never seen a man use a microphone for good.
Until now, everybody buckle up. It's low value mail time with your host, Danny Polishchuk. Welcome back, everybody, to an all-new episode of Low Value Mail on this December 5th, 2023, in the year of our Lord. Welcome back, everybody. It is episode 88. Don't look into that any more than it's just, you gotta have that episode at some point if you're ever going to reach 100, you know? So it's just like we're going to have episode 109 if we ever want to make it to 120 or 200, for example. Today is open lines. I did, the last one we did was about a month and a half ago. I was trying to do these probably like once a month, but it'll probably be slightly less than that. We'll do like 10 of these a year, open lines, not to mention like, you know, the odd last minute cancellation of guests. But I had a ball last time. We had a good time. It's open lines. I'm going to open the phone lines very shortly. You can call in about whatever you want. There's a lot going on in the world. Not only that, maybe you have some new conspiracy you've been getting into, or anything really that you want to talk about. That's the nature of open lines. I think I'm going to play, I have like a million voicemails because I used to check the voicemails periodically on the show, and I haven't. I don't think I have in a long time. So I got a million of those. So maybe we'll go check some voicemails. Before anything, please like and subscribe to the channel. If you're watching on Low Value Mail YouTube channel, like and subscribe. Tell a friend. Honestly, all this stuff really, really does help. I know 2023, I switched up the format of the show, to having guests and whatnot. So, 2024 is going to be a big year for the show. I'm hoping to grow the show, a lot. So any way you can help, I cannot be I've said this before and I'll say it again. Cannot be the only autistic person who likes talk radio. But maybe I am. Obviously I'm not. There's lots of you who joined us today. If you want a wrench, like all these fine individuals in the chat, if you would like a wrench for yourself and to support the show and to help me make the show eventually a longer 4-hour show, which maybe I shouldn't even do that, but I kind of want to. I feel like this is the final version of the show. You can sign up patreon.com/lowvaluemail, MAIL. It's $5 a month. You get all these ad-free episodes. Like if you're listening on Spotify right now, you might be hearing ads. If you don't want ads and you want to pay $5 a month, then you can do that or don't. Also, I totally forgot last week to give away YouTube memberships. As I mentioned, YouTube started doing, they turned memberships back on my channel. On this channel, I'm going to get, I don't want to jinx it. I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy, even though so many bad things have been happening to me. Go follow my new Instagram account, Danny Jokes 2.0. They took my old Instagram account from me for posting pornography. I didn't do that. I never did that. I unequivocally deny posting pornography. I never did that. Currently, my friends, I probably should even share this, but like I have some friends who work in tech, and they're basically like, there's someone who legitimately just does not want you to have an Instagram account, which is crazy because I don't think I did anything that crazy. I know comedians, I know pornographers, I know many people who post way crazier shit than I do, and they just, if they run afoul of Instagram, they get a warning and they they removed that post. Not I. They just deleted my shit. So, but anyways, yeah, I'm going to give away some YouTube channel memberships. You get these fun little emojis. That's it. Someone said, LP says 27,000 likes. Am I seeing things? Yes. I don't think this has 27,000 likes. This channel doesn't even have that many subscribers. So hold on a second. How do I do this? Okay. So here are the currently 4 emojis I have. If I get more members, then I can actually add more of these emojis, and you get all the stuff that you get at Patreon anyways. It's the same deal. It's like a glitch. Anyways, I did not make it big. I am a low value male. I will always be a low value male. That's reading the chat. But so, what was I saying? Anyways, I'm going to give away some channel memberships because I forgot last week. Yes, you can sign up. Yes, they're probably going to demonetize me and cancel them all at some point. Is it stupid? I don't know. I'm trying things out here. No episode next week of Low Value Mail. It is my birthday, and I'm going to the hockey game to go see the Toronto Maple Leafs play the New York Rangers. So, and we'll be back the following week with Ashton Forbes. If you don't know who Ashton Forbes is, he's been going pretty viral on Twitter, doing all this research into the flight MH370. If you have not seen the videos, check it out. He's currently offering $145,000 is what the pool's at to debunk flight MH370. If you've never seen the video, basically there's a plane, it's flying, and then these 3 like orb things start circling it in this like crazy fashion. And there's 2 separate cameras that are recording it, and these things are just circling it. It's like they look very like not earthly technology or whatever, and they're circling it, and then it literally just goes poof, and it just disappears. So he's going to be our guest on December 19th, which will be the next show, and December 25th. Actually, you know what? That's what I was meaning to check. I'm going to check that right now. Shout out Maurice. Maurice, we're out to. Did you decide on that Toronto show? See you at the theater? Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's one more thing. If you live in Toronto, so I'm going to be just doing a quick spot December 15th on the show with Ryan at the Queen Elizabeth Theater. But December 16th, if you can't make that show on the 15th, December 16th, I decided to just put on my own show. I'll be headlining, doing 45 minutes or whatever at Backroom Comedy Club. I'll put the link below if you guys want to check out the show. It's limited tickets. I think it's 50 seats, pretty limited tickets. And I'll have some friends with me, just headlining on my own because I haven't done a headline in Toronto in a while. So if you're around, come check out that show. That'll be fun. Saturday, December 16th, 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. But I think we're going to try and by the 8 p.m. and then because I prefer to do one show versus 2 sparse, half full shows. So anyways, but shout out to Maurice. Thanks, dude. And I'll see Maurice. Maurice is going to come into Toronto. Maurice, fan of the show, will be in Toronto. Hold on. I will drop the link right now. But yes, so Christmas, we're going to turn. I don't know if it's a tradition because I know this is a separate show, but this is kind of a, this is kind of a grab bag here tonight. But last year on Christmas, I did a marathon of the Female Dating Strategy podcast. I haven't done one in a while because I fucking hate them. I hate the podcast. I hate listening to it. I hate that you guys enjoy watching me suffer. But also, they kind of stopped doing it. I don't know if you know this. They took a break. So this is what I'm just going to check right now. So the last episode that they put out September 6th. So I might have killed these bitches. They might be dead. They're not dead. They're taking they said it was a 2-month break, but we're now into 3 full months since they put out an episode. So we may have defeated them, which means should the people want it, I'm obviously Jewish, so I don't do anything on Christmas other than maybe watch basketball. But should the people want it, I will go listen to the remaining episodes, and then that'll be it. And we'll just put a little bow in that, and that'll be that. So, and then we'll be back. Pick a new show. I know FDS sucks. They broke up. Yeah. Okay. If people don't want it, if you don't want me to do it, I just am. I like to finish things I start. But if you guys don't want to do it, that's fine by me too, because it's honestly not going to be that good. But I get messages 3 to 4 times a week about people asking me why I stopped doing it. They're sick individuals out there. So it sucks. I mean, yeah, LP wants it. It sucks. It's a crappy podcast. But anyways, they stopped doing it. So we won. If you ever listen to any of these goddamn podcasts, we won, and they lost. So anyways, and then also one last thing, and then I'm going to open the phone lines. No bathhouse tomorrow night. Unfortunately, the Stand is having some internet issues. I just got a text message like literally 20 minutes ago, and they're having some internet issues at the Stand. There's a chance they'll be resolved, but apparently there's like a Legion of Skanks last night had all sorts of issues. So we'll see. All right, the phone lines are open. What do you want to talk about? You got any new conspiracies? Any conspiracies that I don't know about? I'm going to be trying to focus on bringing more conspiracy people on. I got this guy, Mike Clellan, lined up, who's coming on hopefully soon. I've been talking with him. He basically thinks like owls are UFOs. I'm going to be talking to him about that in the new year. All right, we got a call right here. I got some bangers lined up on the conspiracy wise, so that should be fun. All right. Oh, I know who this is. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Yo, what's up?
Hello?
Hello.
Danny.
Yo, what's up? Can you hear me? No? Can't hear me? Hold on a second. Let me see. Maybe my Zoom preferences are all fucked up. There's a chance that they're not. Hold on a second. Test. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I did that. Hello.
Hey, this is Frank.
Yo, what's up, Frank? How's it going, man?
Doing good. You taking calls?
Yes, I am. The phone lines are open, everybody. 1-888-949-2969. Low value mail. It's open lines. What do you want to talk about, Frank?
Okay. Well, conspiracies. So there's this book called Conspiracies Hierarchy.
Okay.
It's by John Coleman, and it pretty much details everything that we been going through for the past 3 years. It talks
in terms of what do you mean going through, like politically or culturally?
It was written in around like 1995, and it is the plan that we lived through COVID.
Really? What's it called?
Conspiracies Hierarchy by John Coleman.
Conspiracies Hierarchy, and this was 95. You said?
Yeah. I'm gonna, it's on page like 165. It just details the whole entire thing regarding COVID and everything that we were going through.
Okay, go ahead.
It's the story of the Committee of 300 Conspiracies Hierarchy, and it just talks about how they're going to bring in the third world population. It talks about how they're going to release bioweapons. It's how they're going to be talking about vaccines and how they damage people through them and everything.
Really?
It's real. Yeah. So
how did you come across this? How did you come across this book?
So this is a book that's been around for a very long time, and I bought it from, I think, Brave New Books. I've been listening to Alex Jones forever.
And he talks about it? Yeah.
No. It's just conspiracies in general.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So, but the thing is that we just have to realize that there is, and it's funny. This is what's funny about the whole entire thing is that all these people like James Lindsay, Jordan Peterson, all these people are talking about what everyone knows about 30 years ago.
Right.
So Alex Jones was a guy who was a part of this group of conspiracy theorists on the radio, and Jeff Rentz is one of them too. And Webster Tarpley is another one.
Okay.
So these people would talk about it for years, but it's just not socially acceptable.
And they were they were probably for a while just kind of like these fringe, like goofy dudes who nobody really took them seriously. Because I said it before, like conspiracies were for so long just like this fun, like nobody really took them seriously or paid too much attention to them. Like they were very low stakes.
It's like the true crime YouTube videos. Like everyone loves to like watch like true scary stories, true crime all day long and every day. But like, you know, it's only like a hobby.
Right.
It's only not a hobby. It's only not a hobby anymore until you get, you know, attacked or assaulted or robbed
or someone you
like
exactly, or like someone you know gets murdered, and then you're like, now it's
now
serious.
now we're all getting attacked and robbed and raked through their coals. And next year, to all your viewers, there's going to be a crash. There's going to be a huge crash next year.
Economic. So I'd like to know for this book, Conspiracies Hierarchy by John Coleman, what does he say is coming up? Does he have? I mean, is there any prognostication in there?
Yes, yeah. I mean, you know, I got the book right in front of me right now.
And so this is just so people, this is Conspirators Hierarchy, the story of Committee of 300. So what's the Committee of 300? That's just like the kind of people, the elites who kind of like call the shots type deal?
Yeah. So it's wealthy financiers, oligarchs, black nobility, and we're not talking about like black people, black nobility. We're talking about like the black nobility in like the sense of the Venice.
Okay.
The Doge. You ever hear of the Doge? You ever hear the council, the Black Council behind him?
I think so. Yeah, that does sound familiar. I can't remember where I.
So there was the Doge, who was the leader of Venice. And then behind him was like the black nobility that like everyone knew who they are, but like they didn't know how much control they had. That's pretty much like what it is. It's just these wealthy families that have lasted generationally,
and they've just held on to power forever.
Yeah. But the thing is that like Bill Gates is not one of these people. Like Bill Gates and Elon Musk and all these other people are like so low on the totem pole, and that's why they're messing with Elon Musk so badly, is because he's going against the grain. Like money doesn't matter to them anymore. The oligarchs always want depopulation through and through. They want to turn everyone into serf. They want to stick you in a mega city like Judge Dredd. They want to do.
They just want power for them. It seems like probably power is their main agenda.
Well, no. Well, they want. Yeah, they want to. I mean, I guess they want to just inherit the earth for themselves. They want, but they need people grudgingly to like grow their food for them, kill the livestock, and slaughter it, and make meat or whatever, and and clean their houses and sweep their toilets. But the thing is that they need to dumb down the population, and by doing how they did that, there's another book called The Deliberate Dumbing Down of America by Charlotte Iserby, which I bought because, and it's out of print, but it's free online. So if you go to deliberatedumbingdown.com, that's how they dumbed down everyone, and they took away civics, they took away critical thinking. That's why like a lot of people shit on college, but college is actually really good for critical thinking skills.
Yeah.
And like managing your time and all this other stuff. So a lot of right wingers right now, they're taking a poison pill.
But by saying college is a waste of time, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason why is because, like Trump, MAGA, that's great and all this other stuff, and all the populist Republicans is great, but don't take the poison pill with the Republicans, because there's Mitch McConnell, there's Romney, there's the neocons, there's all this stuff going on, and these dudes just have a collective death wish for the world. All they know is to bomb a third world nation, put the country in more debt, reap all of those things, while also side by side signing a new laws like the Patriot Act, Homeland Security, all this stuff. And just think about it. Patriot Act is used, or the FISA courts are used against us. I know you're a Canadian citizen, but the Patriot Act is used against the American citizens to spy on us without a warrant, and to also bypass habeas corpus. Homeland Security is now being used to allow the third world migrants from the Conspiracy Hierarchy book to come in, because these third worlders don't understand rights. They don't understand liberty. They don't understand inalienable rights. They don't understand anything. All they want is a warm bed and welfare and fire water, and that's it. And I've been working in manufacturing for years. What they did was is that they had these third world nations, these third world factories, and now they're bringing them over here. They're doing the third world sweatshop here in America. It's all over New York. You're from New York. I know that you guys.
I'm the studio currently right now that I'm recording in is like a 2-minute walk from the the main bus station here, the Port Authority, I think over the past few days, and I think over the coming weeks, there's going to be tens of thousands of people migrants bust in. But that's partially a fuck you from. Those people are not. Yeah. No, yeah. Those people are not to work the factories for 10 years for $10 an hour. Those people are to replace you. Those people are to replace me, because they want that slave population to put in renter megacities so that they could always harvest their votes and stay in power forever, and they'll slowly outbreed the people that are here. It is a great replacement, but it's not just a great replacement of brown people. It's a great replacement of third world people that don't know what rights are. Yeah. And like I said, homeland security is like fatherland security in Nazi Germany. They had the same exact thing. The brown shirts are Antifa. This is the same old plan over and over again. Do you have any? So what does the book say? The hierarchical. The
conspiracy hierarchy.
Yeah. What does it say is coming up?
Okay. So what's coming up is, it's exactly what we're dealing with. This is it. That's the playbook. Is that the third world population is coming in. They're going to try to start a war. They're going to try to keep pumping us full of fake vaccines that are really bioweapons that don't work, that kill people. Everyone that's listening right now, you could write your own waiver. Just say, I wrote my own waiver on a piece of letterhead with a little dove in the corner. It was a religious waiver. I said, I'm my own religious leader. I'm not taking the vaccines. I'm not taking the boosters. Period. End of story. Yeah. And you get to keep your job. You don't have to.
You did that and that worked for you?
Yes.
Where do you work? Or not where do you work, but what do you do? Just vague. You don't have to dox yourself or anything, but.
I'm an environmental health and safety person for manufacturing facilities all over Long Island.
Okay, the place where they mandated vaccines.
Yes. Okay. So the first place that I worked in before I got a new job, they were talking about vaccine mandates, and I consult the CEOs there, and I consult the head of operations, and I told them mandates aren't laws, and they're just like, well, we should have one. I'm like, no, we shouldn't, because it's against the law. You can't do that. Yeah. And then what happened was, and these people
has anybody successfully sued in the U.S. over this stuff, after the fact?
Yeah, in New York is not only giving all those people back their jobs because of the vaccine mandates, but they're giving them back pay.
Oh, so basically they're making them completely whole as if they worked the entire time.
Yeah, well, anybody could just look it up.
I know New York City was doing that with firefighters and stuff, and I think maybe MTA employees. But that's not all over the United States that's happening, is it?
Well, yeah, look, people need to understand their rights. They don't get their rights. There's when you go into a place, you have to know your rights. You have to read the employee manual. And you have to understand that what they're asking. So HR asked me at the new job. They said, you need to get the vaccine. And I said, on my own, they said you need to get the vaccine or a letter from your religious leader or a letter from your doctor saying that you can't do it. Now, the doctors were blackmailed. The doctors couldn't give anybody, unless they had terminal cancer, the piece of paper that said that they're not going to get the vaccine, because they were going to investigate them. They were going to take away their medical license.
Because Andrew Wiggins, the basketball player, he plays for Golden State Warriors, but he missed a bunch of time, or he missed some time, but he comes from a family who's just morally opposed to vaccines. They're religious, period, and he couldn't even get out of it. He had to take it.
Yeah, no, I'm telling your viewers right now. Just write a piece of paper that says religious waiver on a letterhead that says I am my own religious leader. I'm not taking any vaccines. I'm not taking anything, and just slide it across the table to the HR. And if they want to play with fire, if they want to fire you after that, just make sure that you got your lawyer in your back pocket and you're going to sue their asses. Because
so basically, you're saying like you might get fired, but you'll just go you'll go cash in down the line because it's just not something they're allowed to do.
Yeah, and you got to know your rights, and you got to be ready to fight at all times. I mean, I've done this before. You know, people had to sue their employers before. You take them to court, and you just make sure that, you know, if you're able to record your employer, record them. Always record them, and make sure that you have everything, because they will buckle under everything. Most of the HR people have no idea what they're doing, and the thing is that
they're trying to just not get fired.
Yeah, they're breaking rules left and right with the whole not hiring white people anymore, or putting like, hiring a woman or hiring somebody instead of hiring a white person. They're breaking rules all the time, and they're getting sued all the time. And there's a CEO that just got $10 million because they replaced him with a white woman and a black woman. All right, and there was no other proof other than diversity why he got fired, and the only reason why he got fired is because they infringed upon his human rights. You have to know your rights. You have to read the employee manual. You have to stand up to them. And I was one of 10 people in a factory of 300 people that didn't get the shot. And
did everybody have the same thing that you did? They all had that like letter?
I have no idea what the other people did. I just told them what I did, and maybe they did the same thing. But the thing, or maybe they what do you call it? I don't know.
Just got a fake vax card?
Yeah, exactly. Just got a fake one, or made it themselves, or whatever. But like, you just have to know your rights. But the thing is that, like, this is what they want. They want Aldous Huxley, Brave New World. They want 1984 all wrapped up together. They were using the police state in the early 2000s. Now they're not using that. Now they're getting rid of the police. They've attacked the police. Their new army or their new police are the brown shirts. It's the Antifa. That's the new police. Okay, those are the people that they could sick on any city and burn it down, and they just keep getting bailed out. And they have criminals put in office by wealthy financiers like George Soros that lets them out and bails them out, and there's funds. So those are the.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, literally right by where I am, like these quote unquote brown shirts are marching on a near daily basis, and they're kind of just let to run the show.
And it's not going to stop, and they're poisoning the food too. You need to buy as much organic food as possible.
Are you a seed oils guy?
Corn, soybean, or canola. Don't have anything in your pantry that has that. The GMO food is horrible for you. Try to cut out anything that has GMO sugars in it.
Oh,
okay, all that stuff.
Hard.
I know it's difficult, but you got to cut all that stuff out. But the thing is that another thing too is that just make sure that just make sure that you know what's coming. Because if you don't know what's coming, there's going to be another jab. There's going to be another explosion. There's going to be another this. There's going to be another war. You know how many people that were lost because they believed in the 9/11 stuff? There's
of course
3 buildings fell from 2 planes. One of them, they said, pull it. Building 7 came down in free fall speed. All the other ones came down in free fall speed. The firemen said it looked like a foundry inside. There was thermite in the buildings. Then they went on illegal wars for 20 years, kind of draining the treasury. This is a big joke that they're playing. They're playing like World of Warcraft, StarCraft, whatever, Command and Conquer with our lives, with people's lives, and people are dying every day from it.
Yeah. Do you have a theory about the southern border? Why they're allowing that? Is that just Democrats kind of wanting to be just like the most liberal possible to kind of?
No. I said.
Or do you think it's just like they just want to import new voters and that's just all it is?
Well, not even new voters, because they don't care about they don't care too much about the votes. They just want a docile, third world population that only has like an 8th grade education, that all they know is to work 12 hours a day and then get drunk and go to sleep in a room with a mattress and a lamp. That's all they want. They like that, and they like the destabilization. They don't care if it's costing New York $10 billion.
12. Mayor Adams asked today because that's like the craziest. I've said this before, but that is like one of the most like wild things to me is how the border situation, the southern border situation, is now causing like cutbacks in New York City on like police and stuff. Like they're now saying we have to cut back on police because of the southern border, which could not be. This is what's
going to happen next. There's going to be another big false flag coming soon, coupled with the economic depression that's coming right around the corner, and they're going to just throw it all into a dangerous tailspin. And what's going to happen is that, I don't know, maybe we're not going to be allowed out of our houses. Maybe we're not even be allowed.
So what happens in that scenario for you if they say you're not allowed out of your house? Because you obviously seem like you think about this a lot. You must have thought out this scenario. Like, I imagine in that scenario, you're not writing yourself a letter saying I'm allowed to leave my own house.
Well, I mean, look, I don't
you
know.
Move?
I don't know what. Look, you can't. That's the thing. It's like,
but it's not so easy. Obviously,
you can't move out of this because look, every place is underwater with fentanyl. Every place has people living on the streets in tents. It's not a time for people to just uproot and go someplace else because it's going to be everywhere.
You know what's so funny is New York's actually the only city that doesn't have people living in tents. There's not one person because they give you hotels here because there's a law about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just like you can't run away from it because it's better in some places, it's worse in other places. You just need to be savvy of what's going on. Read some of the Deliberate Dumbing Down of America. Read some of these old books. Read They Shot the President. Read some books that have good reviews on them. I know that you had Mark Dice on the other day.
Yep.
Read his book and just make sure that you save. You don't spend your money on dumb stuff. I wish I could just like crack open this book right now and read it verbatim on the thing, but I've already taken way too much time.
Are you a gold or crypto guy?
No. I mean, to be honest, look, if you got a bar of gold, where the hell what are you gonna do with it? You know?
I mean, that's what I've always thought. I mean, that's the argument for anything really, is these stores of value that are like, counter inflation, is that if shit really goes down, like, and people are fighting for food, like, who the fuck wants gold or crypto?
Look, if you got an extra $100,000 in the bank and you don't know what to do with it, put $50,000 of it in gold and silver. But look, you got to buy a safe. You got to keep in your house. When you go on vacation, you got to wonder if it's going to be there when you come back. When you want to exchange it, what are you going to do? You got to hightail it to the gold district in Manhattan, walk outside with $10,000 in your pocket.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like what are you going to do? If it goes down, if it goes south, it's going to go south. It doesn't matter if you have 3 gold ingots of $10,000 gold or $100,000 worth of paper. If there's no bread on the shelf, if there's no egg on the shelf, that's it. It's over.
Sounds like what you want is guns and land.
Well, look, I mean, there's only so much. Look, and that's another thing. Like, I could stop. You could have 1,000 guns. But the thing is that, do you really want to pull a gun on somebody and shoot them?
No,
I mean, if they're breaking it, if there's somebody's breaking into your house, you got to defend yourself. But why have so many guns? Like, I mean, if you want one gun.
Interesting. I would have kind of thought you were a gun guy, to be honest, from what we've talked about.
No, I mean, the thing is that you just have to be ahead of the curve. They still need people to run the factories, to run the mills, to run all this other stuff. But the thing is that, you got to just know what's coming around the bend, know when it's a psyop, know when it's BS, know when they're trying to sell you on something, know when they're trying to coerce you. I mean, it's just a perception thing. And also, look, I mean, they wiped all the documentaries that I used to watch 20 years ago. And all these documentaries that were there talked about, all the fake wars, Iraq for sale. You
can't find them anywhere. They're not on Odyssey or BitChute, none of that stuff.
I mean, I'm sure there's
probably,
somewhere,
but they're all taken off of YouTube.
Exactly. They're few and far between. Look. I mean, even buy some of Alex Jones's DVDs. I'm sure he's still got Endgame. Yeah, he's funny and people like to josh on him, but they don't like to make fun of him that much anymore.
No.
Because he's right all the time. And look, I'm not an Alex Jones acolyte or anything like that. But look, the minute I got out of college, I was working in a cubicle job, trying to get my experience, and boom, I just was listening to him almost every single day, and almost every single thing that he said before he turned into like a conspiracy theorist, Rush Limbaugh, was correct.
Yeah.
And the thing is, and you just have to be ahead of the curve. Just read the book, like Patton with Romanov. Just read their book, and understand what they're trying to do. And stand up too. There's a lot of cowards. I don't know why so many people are cowards. Or so many people are I don't know.
Dude, you're getting me fired up, Frank. You're getting me fired up, dude.
They talk a big game, but don't be a coward. If somebody says you need to get a vaccine or I'm going to fire you, just be like, well, I know my rights and you can't do that.
All right,
and
cool.
Go ahead. All right. But that's it. You just have to just know your rights. And also OSHA, Department of Labor, get their phone numbers, call them. If you see anything wrong in your job site, call OSHA, and your boss is not fixing it. Call the them. Department of Labor. You could go to your boss and say, I'm going to call OSHA on you if you don't fix this, and there's not a damn thing that they could do about it. If that's a good problem.
If it's a real problem.
Real.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool, Frank. Appreciate you, man. I gotta let you go though.
Much.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.
Frank, everybody from Long Island. Hello. Thanks for calling Low Value Mail. That was a long call, but he had me hooked in. Hey, what's up?
Hey, how's my audio?
Oh, sounds great. Who am I speaking with?
Sweet. It's a conspiracy extremist.
Conspiracy extremist. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, man? I'm great. Hey, when I call, do you see the calls that are coming in while you're on with someone?
Yeah. Like basically my screen, like every new call just pops up. Essentially every call just pops up on my screen. Yeah, so I see them. But if you're trying to get through, just keep calling because it's like
okay.
I don't have a good system. Like if you're watching, I don't have a good system for putting people on hold or anything. So just keep calling.
All right, right on, cool. So I was going to ask you about that Malaysian flight thing.
Yes,
but I know you're going to talk about that with someone.
Well, we were talking about it last night. Actually, we were having some drinks with some friends, and we were talking about it last night because I know a little bit about it, and I started actually watching the Netflix documentary just to see what the kind of like normie perspective on this was, and then I didn't want to get too into like with someone like Ashton. You know who I'm talking about? That guy Ashton.
Yep.
So with him, I watched a few of his things, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna I didn't even want to read too much more into his thing because I just wanted to kind of find out fresh, like when I have him on the show and kind of do it a little more organically, I guess in that sense. So, but what do you think about it?
I think it's pretty wild after watching the video.
So Ryan, I was talking to Ryan about it last night, and so for people who haven't seen it, like I described, there's like the plane, there's these things, then it goes into whatever this like looks like a black hole or some shit or like a wormhole or something, right?
Yeah. So the three orbs start spinning around it, and they accelerate until all of a sudden it just like a portal opens up or a black hole. I think black hole is a good way to
black hole, right? And there's two separate cameras. Two different cameras that are basically filming this thing. And so was it having some like mechanical, like what's I guess the idea behind it is that it was having there was a fire and then these orbs came to like save them?
Well, I mean, we don't know the intentions, but essentially the plane was going down and there was some smoke coming from it, and the people that were on the plane were some scientists. I don't know if they had directly were working on this technology, but essentially the orbs come up, you saw the video, they spin around it, and all of a sudden the plane vanishes and you see this big like black hole open up. Yeah, and it just ends like poof. So I'm curious how like I don't know how much you know about this stuff, but like is there a way to debunk that?
that's acceptable? Like, I know the Ashtons, they put up there's like 145 grand right now.
So have you watched any of his interviews yet?
I've watched a few of them, but like I said, I watched like a few of them, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just going to save them because I just want to ask him myself and have him kind of explain it to me. So so you can tell me though.
Yeah, so he explains it in a way where he kind of like gets ahead of that and talks about what it would take to fake this, what it would take to basically debunk it, and essentially he just gets in front of it and kind of takes care of that skepticism ahead of time, saying, hey, you know what, this is what you'd have to do. This is when we receive the film. This is what you'd have to do to actually create this. So.
And where are those cameras? Do you know where those two cameras were from? They were from like some government thing.
Yeah. One is I think it's bird's eye view. I think it's a bird's eye view, or it's above. And then there's something to do with like satellites, if you believe in those, that are like far out in space.
Okay. You do not believe in satellites, just to be clear?
No, I believe in satellites.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Whether they're on balloons or not, who knows?
Yeah. I don't know what to make of it. I was watching have you seen the Netflix documentary? Basically the Netflix documentary, I only watched the first episode of it. I just watched it recently, but essentially what they're saying is the guy just took over the plane, the pilot, he's just like a lone wolf kind of thing. But I mean, if it went through a portal or whatever, like, or black hole, where would they be now? Like, where would all those people be? Because presumably it's to save their lives. So, like, what was on the other end of that?
They're not saying it's necessarily a portal. It could have been just some sort of technology to either eviscerate it, evaporate it, or it could have been a teleportation. I mean, we don't know because we don't know. We're not privy to the technology, but all we can see is the footage.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure on that one. I'm looking forward to talking to him about it. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's crazy, man. When he goes through each like screen, each what do they call it? Each part of the film, like each frame. Frame, and like breaks it down. It's just
because I'm curious what he says, because I'm sure some VFX people are like, yeah, you can fake this.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
But that's not proof that it was.
Right, but he kind of gets ahead of that, explaining like, this is how much time they would have had to like create this video, and I don't know. He'll tell you.
Yeah. He'll talk about it. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that. Anything else?
I wanted to ask you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Have you seen on Twitter these going around talking about how these people who posted like, being white is bad, but they're Jewish people, and then recently they posted like, hey, I'm Jewish, and why are you lumping us in with being white? Like
you're saying the same people did that? Like it's like they had the same. Because they're like, you're literally fucking. Of course, it's because they. I mean, I know the actual explanation for that, and it's that there's a lot of Jews who are super liberal, and just like any other liberals, that was the trendy thing to say for many years, was just like being white's bad. Even if you were white, like there's no shortage of like, Christian white people who also said that. So Jews were like, we're liberals, right? Like everybody tries to be like, oh, it's like a specifically Jewish thing. You're like, no, all liberals, all like, subset of, if you were farther enough out there, like, on the spectrum, we're like, yeah, white people are bad. That's what we're saying right now. That's the thing. And then now they're realizing that was actually a stupid thing for them to say, like as Jews, I guess, because they're realizing they're like, oh shit, like we, people see us as
hilarious. With
look, I'll tell you, nobody is enjoying this more than me. Okay, as a Jewish person, as a whatever you want to categorize me as, white Jewish person, whatever. I'm telling you, nobody is liking this more than me because. I was criticizing those liberals. Like I've been criticizing those anti-white people, like basically since the beginning of it. Like since it really started happening, I was like, that's stupid. It's a stupid thing. I mean, my main argument was, I'm like, what is this? Just like revenge? Like the whole thing is essentially the whole crux of the anti-white movement is revenge, right? It's essentially saying like, hey, you were racist towards us. So now we're going to be racist towards you. And you're like, how do you possibly think that is a good strategy to fix anything? And
it's mentality. It's so dumb.
Well, it's stupid. And, again, like it's legitimately like some sort of like eye for an eye scenario here where you're like, that is a stupid solution. Like you can stop all racism. Like if you want to say, hey, racism's bad, that's fine. But then they were like, no, racism's bad. But also we need like a pound of flesh from the people who are perpetrating the racism up to this point, which was like, well, then you didn't end racism. You just kind of shifted the focus of it. And so a lot of Jews are, I mean, again, partially, I mean, I've said it online, but like partially this was, for my own benefit, because I was literally going into, when I was like trying to have a career in acting and stuff. And, they would be like, hey, like, my agent was like, hey, they're not seeing white people right now. He's like, if you weren't a white guy, I heard so many times, like I know Tyler Fisher, who's in that Lady Ballers movie. He's a friend of mine. He sued some like manager because they straight up told him like, hey, you can't get this job because you're a white guy. And like anybody with half a fucking brain is like, that's racist. That's discrimination. Yeah. But for a while, it was like it was so toxic to even, it was such like a third rail thing to even bring it up, especially in entertainment, because entertainment's just like so liberal. So people were just like, didn't want to touch it. But, I so many times just were like, yeah, you can't have a career essentially because you're a white guy. And then I was like, well, but I thought, I used to do a joke about it. How I was like, yeah, I just got like, demoted or promoted from like Jew to white guy like recently, and this was probably like 8 years ago. I was doing this joke, like talking about this, and at the time people were like, "What the fuck are you even talking about?" Like I was so early to this whole thing that people were like didn't even know what I was saying, and it's coming home to roost for these people and fucking tough shit, I guess. I will say though, I could be wrong about this. I think there's a chance that this whole Israel and like thing will actually put an end to all this anti-whiteness, because if you do believe that Jews have this outsized power in government and media and stuff, well then they're now realizing that this was a huge mistake to do this anti-white shit, and then they're going to stop. Not even karma, it's going to be not self-preservation, but like they're just seeing like, oh, this was a bad idea for us. Like they don't even care about other people. They're just saying this is a bad idea for Jews. So let's just stop this because we're realizing, I'm saying if you believe, and if they do have this outsized whatever influence, which, Can
I read you a private text message from one of my good friends?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've been sending him some of my favorite podcasts to watch.
Okay.
And he just replied, he just texted me the other day and he said, I really like the boys cast, but it's hard to listen to the tall guys, and then he used a derogatory term for a homosexual. The tall guys, something the expletive accent, Canadians.
Yeah, sorry.
What should I tell him you said?
I mean, am I the tall guy? I mean, we're both the same height, basically. Ryan's an inch taller than me. The funniest thing, though, is everybody thinks we're the lanky dude. I mean, I don't know. There's a million podcasts out there. Everybody thinks we're on coke all the time. That's the funniest thing. Everybody's like, "What are these guys to take Adderall or speed?" And you're like, "This is just our kind of normal gear." I'm pretty even keel. Ryan is not a stimulants guy at all. Ryan just like drink coffee. But I don't. What did you tell your friend? I don't know. Sorry.
Well, he did after that fact. When did you drop the last voice cast? Was that
every Friday? Every Friday.
Yeah. Okay. So he texted me, I think Friday when I was at work. He's like, "Hey, did you catch the voice cast today?" So I think you got another instant fan. So.
All right, that's good. We're winning them one at a time. It's this anti-Canadian sentiment. That's what the problem is. Sir Grant asked me, "Can I dunk?" What do you think? How many Jews do you think can dunk, Sir Grant? No, I can't dunk. Anyways, all right, dude. Well, I appreciate you calling in.
Thanks.
Take care.
Have a good one.
All right, bye. We'll take another call here. Oh, hello. Thanks for calling Low Value Mail.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
You're
on the show.
Hey, is this Danny?
Yeah, this is Danny. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, man, how's it going? I'm just call me Dave from Down Under.
Dave from Down Under.
Down Under, mate.
Sorry.
I had a couple of questions. That number one was, when are you coming to Australia next?
Australia? Well, next is, I mean, well, I went there when I was a kid, but for comedy.
Okay. On tour, I mean.
Yeah, on tour. I don't know. Ryan's never been there. I imagine maybe at some point. I don't know. I know we have like our analytics show. Like we have tons of listeners for the Boys Cast and Low Value Mail and all this stuff in Australia. So definitely at some point. We're in Australia.
Mm-hmm. I'm on the East Coast, so near Sydney.
Sydney, okay, yeah. I mean, I had a great time when I was down there. It sucks; it's such a bitch to get there, but it's yeah. I mean, I will promise you at some point, no question, at some point it'll happen. When exactly, I don't know, but for sure at some point.
Yeah, too easy. Well, another thing as well was just because I'm dating a Canadian at the moment, and I said I have the option to go like live either in Australia or Canada, and I did live in Canada for like 3 years roughly, and
where in Canada? Did you
I want to
live?
get your it was kind of all over. Let's just say the West Coast mainly.
Yeah, if you're Australian, that means you probably lived in like Whistler or something.
Nah. In kind of on Vancouver Island mostly.
Oh, okay. You're not like a ski guy.
Kinda. Not like to the level, because I know Australians have like a really horrendous reputation, like sort of young Australian guys. Apparently.
Well, it's just like they get the Commonwealth visas and they go and they work at like ski hills and stuff. It's nothing. I don't think it's
and
any
they just get
issue.
like shit faced the whole time.
Yeah. But lots of Canadians do that too, though. Like that's the culture of working like on them, like the ski snowboard culture is just getting fucked up all the time. I don't think that's unique to Australians. Yeah. But so you have the chance to live in Australia or somewhere in Canada, likely Vancouver Island.
Yeah, but potentially. But the one thing that sort of came up for me is, so I went over there in like 2020, and what stood out for me was that Canada seemed a lot freer and just more of an open country in like 2020, and then it all went to shit, obviously, and then it almost seems like a dystopian kind of nightmare, similar to Australia.
But so did Australia. Didn't Australia even worse than Canada?
In some ways, for sure. I think it's like, maybe it's kind of just like a frog in a pot kind of scenario where like you kind of you grow up in this environment of nanny state. Yeah. And then you kind of just get used to it, and then you're like, oh shit, man, like it's.
And then exactly. Like, and when they go too far, you're like, oh shit, this is too far. But you have no real way of doing anything about it. What's the government in Australia currently like? What's their political alignment?
It's like sort of left leaning, so like liberal, I think, is what it's.
So like similar,
like North America,
because Canada right now has had a pretty large shift. Like Trudeau's still in power, but if there were to be an election today, I'm pretty sure the conservative guy would win like a majority, which Trudeau does not have. So you have to assume. I obviously know some people who are not willing to really give politicians any sort of benefit of the doubt, but you have to assume like if the conservatives were in power, and obviously the conservatives were in power in America when COVID happened, i.e. Trump, and he was no better. So.
True.
In terms of lockdowns and stuff, I don't know. It depends what kind of stuff you want out of life, I guess. Like Australia's, Australia's not a bad place to live at all. I don't think.
No, that's true. It was more so just like, I guess, your experience with like growing up in Canada, because I
thought it was great.
When I was living there.
Honestly,
yeah.
The all the shit that tarnished Canada for me almost happened after I left, for the most part. I left at the end of 2019. Besides, like, the super, I left because, I mean, I can't even say that was a new thing, though. Comedians always left Canada. Canada's like, it's 40 million people, small country. There's not much of an entertainment industry. So for me, I just kind of, comics have always left. It wasn't even like, oh, they stopped hiring white guys. I would have left regardless. So I wouldn't even say that. I thought it was a pretty good country to live in. And then again, with the COVID stuff, that kind of happened a lot of places. It's not even unique to Canada. Yeah. I think the COVID thing, a lot of it is just nobody wants to stick their necks out like as politicians. So everybody just kind of did what everybody else did, because you're not going to really get in shit if you just were part of the herd. So then America's like, we're locking down. And then every other country's like, we're locking down too. and everybody just kind of followed suit, and nobody did anything. You know, Canada obviously had more lockdowns, and they had more like provincial lockdowns, but I don't know the exact comparison to the United States. I know, you know, like anywhere, it has its downsides, and its upsides, but I would say Canada probably. I mean, Canada's for sure like a top 10 country in the world, no question.
Yeah, that's true.
But so is Australia, probably. So.
Yeah. I think it's like one of those things where it's like a sort of giant douche or a turd sandwich kind of.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like, especially recently.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, Canada. Like, I know the housing market in Canada is like out of hand completely. In terms of, you know, but you know, the same can be said for America. I mean, I know also Australia. Like, I know I've seen, you know,
that's bullshit here.
Things like Sydney housing prices are mental. So it's probably the case a lot of places. Is if you want cheap housing, you got to move to places that people don't want to live that badly, which is kind of always been the case. I think is, you know, yeah, you can't have, if you want your first choice, you're gonna fucking pay up through the nose for it.
Yeah.
But obviously, like the percentage of wages to, you know, home prices is way out of whack. I don't know how that ever gets fixed, to be honest, but I'm not an economist. So
yeah. All right, then.
Yeah.
One final thing. In terms of the conspiracy stuff, because I think like this show is really awesome just for like people that are kind of have fringe beliefs.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you ever heard of this one. It's like Missing 411.
What is that? Is that a show?
It's pretty much that. The premise is that with all the national parks in America and the sort of global instances of this happening as well, that there are a lot of missing people.
Oh, you know what? Someone told me about this. David Paulides.
Yeah, David Paulides. Yeah.
Paulides. Somebody I think had mentioned this to me, but so just so everybody knows, you can always pitch me guests that you'd like to see on the show. And if I think they're interesting, and I mean, I've like a lot of guests, not a lot, but a bunch of guests that we have had in the past was because someone said, like, go have this. They're like, you should have this guy on. And then I just messaged them. And, you know, sometimes people.
Yeah.
I'm going to put him down on the list.
Sick. All right.
I'm going to put him down on the list right now.
Yeah. Look, a gut feeling. I think that he would want to steer clear potentially. No, not that it's like a bad show. I think it's more just like, obviously, there's probably like people here who. Maybe he doesn't align with certain beliefs that some people call up about.
You know what, though? I'll tell you what, and this is because I have like a fairly big Twitter account. I think a lot of people, they just like, I've had a bunch of people do the show because I just DM them and they're like, oh, like this guy has like a bunch of followers on Twitter, and then they maybe like recognize me from like a comedy sketch, and then they just do the show not realizing what the show is at all. And then at that point, they agreed to do the show. So I might not have him come back on again. Yeah. But you get him the one time. So, anyways, I put him down on the list. But he's just about missing hikers, right? Yeah, I remember looking up this guy or reading something about him. He just finds missing hikers.
Well, look, there's actually there's like 3 documentaries online. I think he's produced like 3 documentaries. They're probably like 90 minutes long or something, and I think one of them's free on YouTube at the moment, or anyway. And it kind of just like touches on different elements. It goes through like maybe 4 or 5 cases of like particularly interesting and intriguing ones.
Okay.
And yeah, man, it's really interesting. I think obviously out of like thousands of these missing people cases. So just to give a bit of context as well, that he only apparently selects missing people cases where it sort of fits certain criteria that doesn't quite add up, like from a purely like detective standpoint, because he's an ex-detective.
Okay. And has he found anybody?
So it's kind of like really weird missing people, like where they sort of disappear in such bizarre circumstances.
Has he found?
Like, well, what the hell happened?
And has he located anybody like alive or even dead?
Well, yeah. Again, I won't spoil the documentaries too much, but there's definitely some really interesting ones, particularly when it comes to like toddlers, where they are missing, but then they're found,
but they're like adults,
really
like
far
adults.
away, and Yeah, and also it's like in places where someone couldn't have carried them necessarily. Like, I mean, you kind of rule some of the cases you kind of rule out. Where it's like maybe it's just like foul play or something. But there's definitely some in there that are very strange, and it also connects to all the MH370 kind of portal stuff as well. Because it's just like a rabbit hole. It's one of my favorite topics, to be honest with you.
Interesting. All right, well,
like missing people in the forest.
I'm gonna contact him, and hopefully I can get him on the show.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Take care.
Later. All right. Hello. Thanks for calling Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, this is Mark. Can you hear me clearly?
Mark, I can hear you crystal clear. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I was just drinking a beer and enjoying your show.
Oh, thank you.
And I heard you guys bring up the UFO video, the Malaysian Airlines flight.
Sure. Yeah, I have the guy coming on my show in 2 weeks from now. But what do you think about it?
Look, I want to believe just as much as you and everyone else, but I'm going to rain on your parade. It is fake, and there is proof.
So
4 months ago.
Well, why don't you cash in on that 145 grand or whatever there is? Or you're saying that's bullshit?
So on r/UFOs 4 months ago, a user by the name of Icy Slide 7698 posted a thread title: "The plane video has VFX elements used for the portal and is likely a hoax."
I mean, I have to agree with you. Like, when you see the video, it's unlike anything that a human mind can essentially comprehend.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I agree with you.
You know what I mean? Like, you have to assume that it's fake, I think.
Well,
because
it is fake. If you will please entertain me.
Yeah.
I just sent you an email at Low Value Mail questions.
Yeah. Let me pull this up right here.
Is it possible that you can pull your email up? Because if you have the link, it will be easier for you. As opposed to me trying to communicate all this information. But
you know what? I can. Give me 1 second. So
okay.
let me see how I can pull this up. The
title of the subject of the email that I sent you is UFO video fake, and in my email I wrote there's VFX elements in it, proved 4 months ago, and then there's a link to Reddit. If you'll pull it up, I'll kind of not walk you through it, but yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can pull this up. Google Chrome. Okay. All right, for people who are listening at home, sorry, but there's going to be a visual element to this. Let's see. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Why is that X'd out? Should work, but I don't know why this isn't showing. Oh, actually, I know why. Hold on. No. This might not work. Oh. It's super. Oh, you know what? This is super see-through for some reason. Hold on. Let me. All right. Well, you know what? Start talking about it. I'm going to pull this up. It's just going to take me 1 second here.
So, pardon me. He is a professional orator, but if you will entertain me, go on Google, just for the viewers, your audience. Go into Google, type in r/UFOs, and word for word, the plane video has VFX elements used for the portal and is likely a hoax. Now, basically, what happened?
Okay, I have it pulled up on the screen right here.
Okay, perfect.
Hold on a second.
You could communicate this better than I could.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you want me to read it?
Yeah, please. You're the professional here.
Okay. Hold on a second. So it says right here, the plane video has VFX elements used for the portal and is likely a hoax. The plane video has VFX elements for the portal and is likely a hoax. The effects used is from an old VFX CD-ROM from the 90s. It can be found at archive.org, site below, Pyromania Volume 1.zip, and is titled Shock WV. The stills below are the best matches I could find, and the match is undeniable. Feel free to download and verify yourself. I have nothing to do with the making of the plane video. The portal effects seem familiar, and began to research this and the product of the search. Yeah, I saw this on Twitter when I was reading into it. He goes, edit, I will describe my process of finding this so as to not add further mystery. It's somewhat mundane. I saw the plane video here on Reddit. Yeah. I played Duke Nukem 3D a lot in the 90s. There's an enemy in Duke called an Octobrain. So essentially, this is just someone debunking it. And that's what it's from, essentially, is it's from this website, Pyromania, and that's it. So I guess the problem is this guy a VFX artist? I guess what has to happen is you need to, here's all these different VFX things. And then I guess what would happen is someone would have to be able to reproduce this, though. Has somebody done that? Has somebody and taken this and made their own video that's the exact same video?
Yes. Unfortunately, this was 4 months ago, so I'm kind of removed from the drama in terms of time.
Okay.
But when this was all going down about 4 months ago, there was a lot of people recreating the video themselves. Obviously, it did not look as good. I myself am of the personal belief that this video is a government psyop kind of cashing in on the whole UFO craze. Because you remember when 4 months ago there was that Mexican family in Las Vegas, and they said
we talked about that extensively here.
Exactly the same fucking time that shit went down, this shit got fucking bumping. It was big in the zeitgeist.
And so you think, so are you saying that the alien thing in Vegas was real and that this came out to distract people from that?
Both are bullshit.
Okay.
Because the Mexican kid came out and he was selling UFO NFTs. Again, I am drunk. And this was 4 months ago. But if your viewers are willing to just be a little patient, do a little research, and kind of dig into it a little bit, you will find that guy was kind of taking advantage of the situation.
Well, because I remember, we talked about that, the Vegas thing. I was of the, I guess, impression with specifically the Vegas thing. I thought it was crazy how, like, the cops saw a similar thing in the sky. And so
that was a meteor. That was a meteor.
So that was a meteorite. And so are you of the, I mean, I guess the only explanation at this point with that kid is that he saw a meteorite and then was essentially saying, I'm going to capitalize on this by saying it was like UFO. Because obviously his story is crazy, but was there not, correct me if I'm wrong, was there not like a Zoom footage? Not Zoom photo, whatever, like the doorbell,
So we had the body cam footage of the officer when he pulled over a suspect for some bullshit, and they saw the meteorite, and then not long after, that Mexican kid called and said there were aliens in the backyard, basically. Why they turned...
Hold on a second, I'm frozen here.
Okay.
For some reason my video is frozen. Why? I don't know. Sorry, everybody. Doesn't say there's any issues. What just happened here? Okay. Well, I oddly froze. I don't know why.
FBI.
Yeah.
My bad.
Oh, hold on. I think this is some weird. What the hell is going on here? All right. Well, now I got to figure out what the hell is going on with this frozen thing. I think people can hear it though. I'm just frozen. Is this some sort of weird Streamlabs thing? All right. Well, I'm gonna have to.
YouTube's a pain in the ass.
No, it's not you. This isn't YouTube. This is a new one for me right here. I have never. Hold on. I've never seen this one before. The audio's fine. I just, for whatever reason, we just froze. That's so fucking weird. Let's see. Video capture device? No. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to figure this one out. Well, people can still listen. We can still continue on. This is so weird. Anyways, okay, people can hear me. I'm frozen. I don't know where this fucking stupid green thumbs up thing just came from. All right. Well, if there's any Streamlabs people, make sure to call in and help me with this because this is fucking weird as shit. All right. I have no idea. All right. Well, we're frozen for the rest of the show, video-wise, but we still got audio. Anyways, sorry to derail this call completely.
No. Hey, I'm glad you took my call because I was sitting here frustrated.
That's fine. Well, you know what? Hopefully you'll call in to
shit with no skepticism.
Hopefully you will call in to the next episode when he comes on, and maybe you can ask him a question or bring this up yourself, because I'm sure he has a response for it, and I'd like to hear it. So, all right, thanks, man.
Yep.
I'll let it. All right, I'm gonna try and figure this out. This is the wonderful world of, this is so fucking weird. Why would this freeze? Okay, well, if I'm glad you guys are enjoying this in the chat, okay? Because I don't know what the hell is going on. Where did this stupid green check mark come from? All right, well, I'll try to figure this out while I talk to you. Hello, thanks for calling Low Value Mail. It's
Hey, Danny.
What's up, man?
It's JJ.
What's up, JJ? Not the JJ I know.
Yeah, not Jason Noah.
No.
I got 3 cues for you, but I want to rattle 2 off back to back. So wait, what was it again? It was because I've been trying for so long to call in, and
well, you made it.
Yeah, it was
what's up?
That guy that bought a cat and then it just gave birth to a fucking litter.
Pablo from the bathhouse. If people don't know,
Pablo.
Yeah.
What was the verdict on Pablo?
No dice on Pablo. He's been trying to get some ass, but he just wasn't been able to.
He's MIA. You haven't heard from him.
I haven't heard from him in a bit, but every time, I think the last time he called in, he was like injured.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and that's it.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's just short and sweet right
but
there.
I think he's just working, and I don't know.
Yeah, he's just doing his thing. He's like late 20s,
Yeah, he's in his like mid-20s. He's just, working. But yeah, I don't know otherwise what's going on with him.
Well, I try to think about the other one. It's fucked up how I was subscribed and everything to the Boys Cast. I want to say 3-4 years ago, and this year is the first time I've found the bathhouse and Low Value Mail. Right?
Well, I've only been the bathhouse has only been happening for a year. And the bathhouse, and then Low Value Mail has been for 2 years, but I've plugged it before on the show. So
you definitely probably plugged it on Wrath or Legion.
No, I plugged it on the Boys Cast too.
Oh, my dumb ass just never
maybe you missed it
out.
or something or whatever. Yeah. But this is so fucking weird. Because if someone knows Streamlabs, I imagine there's one person who probably knows how to fix this. Call in. Because this is so...
Streamlabs.
Well, because my video's frozen, and then there's this fucking green thumbs up sign that's for some reason beside this. But the thing is, you can't restart. I can't restart the stream because it just ends the stream.
Oh, geez.
And I just have no idea. I must have pressed something, but I have no clue what I did.
Did you get the button for the bathhouse? Because I missed last week.
We got the button, yes. Gilly made the button.
I knew you had it.
We don't have it set up yet. No, we haven't set it up.
Okay.
Yeah, we're trying to set it up.
Dude, I think it's hilarious that I was continuously calling in tonight. I would do 10 times, but on my phone was that tiny box of the new premiere of the Regs.
Yeah.
With Joe Rogan, Shane Gillis, Ari Spear, blah blah blah.
Of the Regs?
Yeah, but that's what they call it. Like it's their protect.
It's their protect our parks. Yeah. No, I know. Yeah.
But so like I would hear 1 second of them, but I would already be hitting call on you guys, and I think it's funny. Like Lev Fur would love that, and I feel like Lewis would hate it.
Lewis would hate it. Yeah, Lewis might not like that. Yeah, well,
but
they were having some same issues that we're having for tomorrow.
Yeah.
With Skanks last night or whatever. There's we can't do Bathhouse.
He
tomorrow.
did so much. It's insane what I found out his Monday was. 3 streams of him playing either Fortnite or Warzone, Legion of Skanks, and then the Regs.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he does lots. And he does an episode of rap.
He did rap on Monday? Oh, yeah. He does.
Every Monday.
Hell.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Okay.
I just wanted to end it with you shitting on me that tomorrow I'm going on a 10-day cruise.
Oh, that's fun. Why do I want to shit on you? This seems like it'll be.
10 days. I thought you were one of the.
I'm not a big cruise guy, but I'm not about to tell anybody how to live their life. You know, like if you want to be a cruise guy. No, I mean if you like cruise, you like a cruise. You know.
We just became a cruise family last year.
All right.
We did 5 days last year, 10 days this year.
And you like it?
Last year, I love it. I'm a boat boy. I don't leave the boat. So everyone leaves for their excursions. I go up to the pool deck up top. There's 2 dudes in hot tubs.
Yeah, and you just get wasted for like 10 days.
Hell
yeah, that sounds fun.
No, and I
feel like I would get. I have some friends who do comedy on cruises though, and a lot of them say they all get seasick and shit.
I used to get car sick, and I did not get seasick. I had that Dramamine patch.
Yeah.
And it fell off within hours. And I was fine. I was definitely hungover. And then one night I took 2 edibles from this 2 lesbian couple, and they were like, we don't want to leave the boat with this. Do you want it? And I was like, sure. I ate it. And they looked at me like, holy fuck, you just did that.
Yeah.
So then the next morning I woke up to both ends just firing out. Like,
oof. Yeah, that's a comic I know. Actually, he's like he couldn't even take the Dramamine patch because he said that it made him like he couldn't really do comedy. So he's like he just had to be sick because he's like it made him too fucked up to kind of do comedy.
It did make me feel weird.
Yeah, for sure it does. And he said he's like he couldn't really do comedy on it. So,
anyway, all right, 5-day cruise. Yeah.
I gotta let you go, but enjoy the cruise.
Thanks, dog. Happy holidays.
Well, yeah, you too. Later. Okay, so this thing is totally frozen. I'm sure you're listening to this right now. This is totally frozen. And I think everything's frozen, actually. I'm having all sorts of tech issues right now. Because, yeah, so anyways, my Streamlabs, what's going on here? This is so fucking weird. All right, we'll take this call. Hello, thanks for calling Low Value Mail.
Hey, Danny, I promise I'm not as drunk as that previous caller.
That's fine. I don't care if you guys are all drunk.
No, it was just funny. He was rambling a lot. I have an interesting. I guess the first caller was I found him.
So hold on, just a question. So I think the stream is also frozen on how many people it shows watching the stream. I think. Because it's just been locked at 167, and normally, so it says excellent connection. Everybody, my Streamlabs is all fucked up, so we're just gonna go as long as we can go audio, and then
it's still showing you with the thumbs up on by your head.
Yeah, that I can't. And the thing is on Streamlabs, it has a timer, and it's been frozen at 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 26 seconds. So there's definitely nothing I can do right now. It's just glitching out, and if I end the stream, then it's just over. So we'll just go as long as we can.
All right. Well, I don't want
it's
too
updated. Yeah. So
crazy compared to what that first caller had, which I don't disagree with him on a lot of things, but that he said in terms of, I disagree. He seemed a little gloom and doom, but.
Yeah, the gloom and doom thing is kind of a weird one because the gloom and doom people over a long enough time frame are always wrong, which is weird because I guess one day they won't, but over a long time frame, they're always wrong.
So here's my conspiracy theory, and I'll give it the caveat that I'm not like a Trump guy.
Okay.
I'm not a huge political guy. I don't care water for politicians. I don't care about any of that. COVID, if Hillary Clinton was in office when COVID happened, there would not have been any lockdowns. There would have been
for sure
none of the political pressure, any of that.
There would be no. I've been trying to do a joke about this. It's been bombing so badly, but I've been trying to do a joke about the fact that like Donald Trump is the greatest thing that's ever happened to women in my lifetime, because if Hillary won, there'd be no Me Too movement. Harvey Weinstein would still be making movies, like all that shit. None of it would have happened.
Well, it was all done to try to get rid of Trump. And again, I'm not like a big pro-Trump guy. I mean, I'm anti a lot of the crazy woke liberal stuff, but I'm certainly not like running around wearing a MAGA hat or anything. But if you look at the timeline of like, especially with the COVID stuff, it happened in an election year, in March of an election year, and then they just went crazy with all the restrictions, lockdowns.
I mean, I've always thought, like, you know, this is obviously a crazy conspiracy theory, but you know, I guess
I don't think it's even a conspiracy theory, but
well, no, this like that, you know, this would be one of my like fucking one in a gajillion conspiracy theories, super far out there, but that just COVID was literally like released to get rid of Trump. Oh, you know what? I might have. Oh, we're back.
Well,
Joe Malone. Shout out to Joe Malone. I just had to switch the sources. We're back. All right. Thanks, Joe.
No, I'd more say the response to it was to get Trump out of office versus I have no actual.
But no, I'm saying to get Trump out of office. They were just so desperate, which is so crazy because it's like, no, there's a good shot that he'll be back. But
I hope so. Again, just because. What else are we gonna do?
I mean, what's the fucking alternative right now? Like, you know, when you have pretty normal, not even pretty normal, like you have like actual, by definition, shit libs like Michael Rappaport saying that, and, you know, now granted, he's only saying that strictly on the Israel thing because many people are single issue voters, but, you know, Chris Cuomo is not he's not Jewish. He doesn't care about that. And even he's, you know, saying he's open to it. So.
I love all the Israel-Palestine stuff because it's hilarious to see people trying to put their brain in a pretzel to try to...
Oh, it's honestly, it is one of my fucking favorite things that has ever happened. Well, obviously, it's like it's a horrible thing, but like to watch just these people who have, you know, to be honest, like have been pissing me off for near a decade get like exposed as the fucking biggest hypocrites, the least like ideologically consistent people, and it took this thing, unfortunately. But yeah, you still there?
I think people are just extremely fed up with all the BS that's going on, especially. And again, I'm not trying to be anti anything or whatever. I'm not Jewish or Palestinian, but it's just funny to sit back and kind of watch it as a non-biased observer because it doesn't really affect my day-to-day life, and I don't know a lot about it.
Yeah.
So I don't really have a strong opinion either way, but it's funny just to see anything the liberals get pissed off at, I sit there and just watch and laugh. And
yeah, but that's the thing is this, I don't know how much this has divided liberals, because again, like the vocal minority, you know, I don't know if it's always like the greatest proxy for what's going on. But obviously on college campuses where like a lot of the bullshit that we're dealing with has been downstream of college campuses. Like, I don't know if you saw today on Congress, I was like literally watching this and like laughing. They brought the heads of MIT, Harvard, and Penn, all women, by the way. Here's another thing. We got to hear about how fucking bad it is for women. They're literally the heads of 3 of the most prestigious universities in the world. And then this congressperson, also a woman, asks is
no,
saying,
I
did you see that? And she's like,
no, you responded to it. That's the reason I saw it.
Oh, right. And I'm like, that's
because they just sat there and said, well, context matters.
Yeah, context. She goes, is like, I can't remember exactly what she says.
And
like,
they all repeated the same thing each time. And it's like,
and you're like, they would never in a million years, if you replace Jews with literally anything else other than white people. That's the thing, is like white people would be the only thing that you could replace that with. Like if you said like replace Jews with trans people or black people or anything, they would be like, yeah, of course, that's an incitement to violence. You can't say that. And then just watching them be like,
context matters.
And I agree. Context does matter. And I didn't watch that whole thing. My sense is, like, if I could steelman this argument for them, I guess what they're saying is, you should be able to say, like, you should be able to be anti-Zionist and not come off as anti-Semitic, which, again, like, I agree that you can criticize the Israeli government and not... and be like, I have no issue with Jews, but what's happening in Israel is fucked up, and I don't agree with that. And I'm like, that's fine. I got no problem with that. But a lot of the liberal side of these people were the same, and I tweeted this, but a lot of those people were the same people when Trump did his 7 countries, his majority Muslim ban. They were like, that's Islamophobic. And you're like, well, is he just restricting? It's insane. You're like, so was he just restricting travel from 7 countries that had like, that were like failed states and didn't have like, good governments, or is he Islamophobic?
Yeah. And it's just in that video that I saw that you had responded to, or you retweeted it and said how crazy it was. It's just the fact that they all said the same thing. They didn't have any they didn't have a very strong opinion on anything. They just kept repeating the same thing that person previously said.
They were kind of like taking the fifth. They were kind of taking context matters. And you're like, sure, but they're essentially saying all lives matter. And you're like, but that wasn't an acceptable position up until very recently among your ilk, yes, obviously context matters.
I think that's why Trump's going to win in the landslide.
Oh, for sure. These people are like doing no service to their.
That's the thing they don't realize. Like, people are fed up. Even people like me that are pretty. I try to stay out all that stuff, and I kind of bury my head in sand and don't really pay attention to a lot of the culture war stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, I voted for Trump the first 2 times, even though I'm not a big politics guy, but I'm certainly voting for him again.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see how. Although I do like RFK Jr., but I know and like the weird thing is I see a lot of people on Twitter and they don't like RFK Jr. because he is like pro-Israel. You're like, but they're all pro-Israel. The only person who's like maybe not pro-Israel is maybe Vivek, which doesn't seem like he seems to be getting fucked over by the mainstream media. Because, he has decent showings at these debates and then they just ignore him and pretend like he just like doesn't exist. So, but I like RFK, but I don't think he has a real chance, but I don't know.
Well,
they did say that about Trump the first time. They said he had no chance.
People like RFK because he talks about the vaccines and all that stuff, but his other points are not, the other positions he has are not conservative at all. So
no, he's not a conservative. He's from the most famous Democratic family in the history of the United States, arguably, or like one of them.
I know, but I think a lot of people are like, oh yeah, we like what he says about vaccines because people are pissed off about all the COVID stuff. But
yeah,
at
for
the
sure.
End of the day,
and I mean, he is consistent about that, at least. Like he's been on that for long before COVID happened. Scotty says we can get RFK on the Boys Cast. I've been trying to get him on the Boys Cast, but we had one moment where it looked like we could get him when his thing was really picking up steam. But the week before that episode, we talked so much shit about him that we couldn't, in good conscience, ask him the next week to come on because we were making fun of his voice so much, like the week before, and then it seemed like there was like this chance that it could happen, and then I'm like, we can't even ask, like. It was just too recent to us talking shit about him. So that's kind of the double-edged sword of doing a comedy podcast sometimes is, yeah. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll try. He's definitely a guy if we can get him.
On the podcast. I think y'all would.
Oh, I'd love to have him on. We both would.
I mean, I've seen him on a bunch of other podcasts, and he's he seems he's a good interview. So
no, he's a good interview. Like he says some good stuff. He's like well thought out points. I think you could say. So we'll see. Maybe. I mean, it sounds like he'll be a challenger. So we'll have some time to do that. All right. Thanks, dude.
All right. Thanks.
Later.
Bye.
All right, we can take another call here. Hello. Thanks for calling Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Danny. It's Pablo from California.
Pablo! Why discuss you when you can just call in and we get the answer straight from the source? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, Danny. I'm a little sick, but I'm feeling better now.
Oh, okay. Sorry to hear, man. Just a cold? Got the COVID?
Oh, yeah, just a cold.
Okay.
No, well, if it's COVID, I haven't tested it.
Okay.
If you don't get tested, you don't have it.
I mean, that is literally the move. If you think you have COVID, you're a fucking rube to get a test. Unless, like, you have some sort of thing where you can, get out of school or work or something and you want that, then maybe. But otherwise, incredibly stupid.
Yeah, job doesn't make us stop working for COVID anymore. They said, if you got COVID, just,
Really? Jobs right now are straight up like, if you have COVID, still come to work?
My job, I don't know about other jobs, but my job, they don't care.
They're just like, we don't give a shit. Do they make you wear a mask, or do they say, like, if people are worried about COVID? Yeah, just like, if you're worried about getting COVID, wear a mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
that's it.
Probably, like, I think we're at the point where everybody knows, like, you're not going to, no matter what, you're not going to escape getting it if you're going to get it. Like, it finds a way, so...
I just told everybody at work, like, hey, I'm not feeling great. I think I might have a cold. You might want to, keep your distance from me.
Yeah, that's fine. That's just pretty normal.
I feel like that's the common courtesy thing to do.
What's that?
I felt like that was like the kind thing to do.
Yeah, that was like, I mean, that's what people did before COVID. Is you go, hey, I'm a little sick. Like, I don't want to get you sick as well. And, yeah. Yeah. Anyways, that sounds a little bad. So how's it going? How have things been otherwise? People want to know. Normally we talk about this on the Bathhouse. I don't know if you've ever called into this show, but any luck with the ladies?
Yeah, I've called in a couple of times.
Okay.
Still no luck with the ladies, but I mean, it's holiday season, so I'm not exactly looking right now.
Yeah.
I got work to do, bills to pay.
Yeah. I don't know.
To fix.
Well, yeah, we'll get you there, I guess. I don't know. What's the cat situation?
The cats are getting bigger. I'm not 100% sure how.
They're getting bigger?
So,
don't they kind of get fully grown?
Yeah.
Like, since you first called into the show, surely that must have been enough time where they become full grown, no?
They've gotten bigger.
I guess fatter.
So there's 3 male cats left and the original cat that I picked up, right?
Yeah.
They've eradicated the other cats in the neighborhood. The first, as they were growing up, they eradicated. Basically, one of them has come back beat up several times, and every time 3 days of rest, and he's back out there, and you hear them fighting all the time, and he's fucked up every cat in the neighborhood essentially.
Crazy. That's kind of cool, I guess. At least you have the badass cats.
And they're the size of like mid-sized dogs now. The biggest cat is 22 pounds.
What? That's way bigger. That's a huge cat. Yeah, that's like
it's the size of a dog. Its head is bigger than my fist.
My dog is 14 pounds, and he's full size.
I'm starting to get worried because he lets me pet him a lot. He actually likes me a lot. But today he started giving me some sass, and I started, and so I just, was like, hey, who the fuck do you think pays for your food? And I smacked him on the head, and he still gave me sass. I'm like, oh, he might start. Yeah, I think he's getting a little too cocky. I might have.
Well, aren't cats? Cats are the ones where if you die, they'll just eat you instantly, right?
Yeah, but these are street cats, so I think they got a little too much street in them right now.
Yeah, a little too much street. Well, I don't know how you can like correct take the.
I mean, I just
street
hit
out
them.
of them.
I don't.
Yeah, yeah. You kind of
hit the cats.
I don't know if they. I don't know how much.
I don't abuse them. I don't. Abuse
them.
I
don't think you abuse them, but you kind
of
of
like I'm taking a baseball bat to their head.
No. You kind of just give them a little. Yeah, you kind of just give them a little. Sometimes they, require that. I guess. My dog.
I didn't come. I didn't come to talk about cats. I just wanted to talk a little bit about UFOs.
Yes.
Because the majority of my life, I was a UFO denialist. I was like, we're probably alone in the universe. Maybe not. If we are, we're not fucking seeing the aliens. They have too much tech. They wouldn't let us see them.
Actually, you know what? Okay, you're a fucking plane mechanic. Have you seen the MH370 video that we've been talking about? Okay, if you can go pull that up. You know what? I'm gonna drop it in the chat so anybody can. MH370 video. This guy Ashton is coming on the show in 2 weeks from tonight. And hold on, I think is this a new one? He keeps posting. Okay, I'm gonna post this right here. It's a link to Twitter. I don't know if YouTube will allow this, but there you go. So I posted it in the chat. So anybody who wants to go see this video, you can go click on it. I think you have to have a Twitter account, unfortunately, but you can go watch it. But basically, this is I don't know if this is proof of UFOs particularly, but it's proof of, his name is Ashton Forbes. He's going to be the guest in 2 weeks. It's proof of like some sort of crazy technology that the government possesses that they're not telling us about. People can watch it. Basically, we've already said it, but these like 3 orbs are flying around the plane, and then like a wormhole opens and it just goes in. A caller a few ago just says it's totally bullshit, which is likely. But anyways, go back to the UFO stuff. So, because you work in aviation, I guess.
So anyway, the majority of my life I've been a UFO denialist. My mom and my grandparents have said multiple times that they've seen UFOs before. They're not 100% sure what they are, but they say they've seen strange lights flying around, moving in erratic ways that planes don't move in. Yeah. And I was like, oh, you're just seeing things. You guys are, I told my grandparents, like, you guys are older. Maybe there's something wrong with your vision.
Okay.
Same thing with my mom. My mom's into witchcraft also, and I just always just brush it off as, your mom, you're crazy.
Okay.
As I've been working more and more at nighttime, I started to see some stuff. So I've seen a couple. Before I started working nights, I never saw meteorites. After working nights, I see meteorites all the time now. And so I know what a shooting star is just a meteorite burning up the atmosphere. I know what that looks like. It doesn't change direction. It's a quick flash and it's gone.
Yeah.
It's pretty much.
It definitely doesn't change direction.
Doesn't change directions. So recently I started seeing stuff that I thought originally were aircraft just flying that are starting to see that it doesn't add up really. So for anyone who doesn't know, airplanes have specific lights, nav lights that they're required by law to have on at all times during flight. It's a safety thing. It's there was a big accident during World War II. Blah 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 blah. They have to run these lights at all times. There's one green, one red. You know it's an airplane. It's flying.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, I saw one that was there was a red light just moving about. No big deal. You see that all the time at night. And it starts moving around a little bit erratically. And I'm like, that's fucking weird. Planes don't do that. It looked far enough away that it was a plane at altitude. I was like, there's no way it's moving that fucking fast if it's a plane. And it's not a helicopter because they don't fly that fucking high up.
Yeah.
And then it goes back into a straight line and just continues on its path as if it was a normal airplane. I'm like, maybe I'm going crazy. Go back and go
is there a lot of 2 weeks. Is there a lot of light pollution where you're at?
Yes. I'm in a decent city, 300,000 people.
Okay.
There is light pollution, but it's a dot of light. It's a red light that's moving like a normal plane. You would never think anything of it, and it starts moving sporadically, almost as if somebody was like taking a laser pointer and moving it around, and then it goes back to just moving normally. And like maybe I'm there's something wrong. I must be tired.
I wonder if that's yeah, because I wonder why, like especially if it goes back onto just the normal course, like it's like a red dot and then just briefly it changes. I wonder if there could be, because that seems like if you are some sort of UFO, like, you know, advanced technology, why would it just be imitating a plane for all of like the entire time but 5 seconds, you know?
Yeah. And so I thought, I was like, oh, I'm just tired. My brain's going haywire. Fast forward another 3 weeks. I'm getting lunch. It's midnight. I'm grabbing lunch with a coworker, and we're driving back and we're talking. I go, what the fuck is that? And it's the same thing. It's a red light flying as if it's a normal plane, but it's moving a lot faster than a normal plane. I'm like, maybe it's a jet. Maybe there's an Air Force base at the airport. Maybe it's a jet that took off and they're coming in for approach or something. I'm like, no, if it was coming in for approach, it'd be a lot closer and it would be moving slower. That's weird. And then the light just gets a lot brighter and then disappears. No extra effects.
Yeah.
No nothing. It just, as if it just turned off. And I'm like,
which they would never do. They would never just flip their light off at night.
They never would. Yeah, they never would. And if they did, there's something that immediately goes on with air traffic control, because air traffic control also knows when, can also tell if those lights go off. And it's usually, you know, they get a call. It's like, hey, there seems to be some sort of issue with our lights. We're switching to a different light.
Yeah. Like if there was an issue, but they would contact them to say, hey, we're turning off our lights. Like they don't just turn off their lights.
Yeah. And that's weird. And I turned to my coworker and I was like, you saw that, right? Did you see that? And he goes, yeah, that's fucking weird. I thought it was like one of the F-16s at the Air Force base, but it's just gone.
Yeah.
And while there is some light pollution, we can usually see the planes. Like it's not usually just the light. We can usually see like a small, you know, like oval shape around the light. And we're like, yeah, that's a plane. But there was none of that. It was just the light, and it just disappeared. And there's nothing left after that either. I'm like, that doesn't happen either. And the same thing happens. You know, fast forward another like 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. And I'm outside looking up in the air, and I see plane lights. I'm like, okay, that's a plane. I'm like, I can't tell exact distance in my depth perception isn't that it can't reach that high. I'm like,
do you wear glasses?
Looks like it's flying. No, I don't wear glasses, but like depth perception at 30,000 feet is not something you can differentiate from 40,000 feet.
For sure. Yeah, no way. Yeah, no way.
And I'm out with a couple of people. I go, doesn't that thing look like it's flying like way higher than everything else? And somebody goes, yeah, maybe it's a satellite or something. I go, satellites don't have lights on them. And if they did, we wouldn't be able to see them. They're like miles above the air.
Well, those satellites kind of look like stars sometimes. You can kind of see them like going across the sky. Can you see satellites? They're just like a kind of a white dot.
I've never seen a satellite.
I thought I've seen I mean, I could be wrong, but I thought I've seen, you can see satellites and they're like some of them and they're just kind of a slow, it looks like a plane almost, just like a white dot. Like it almost looks like a star, but it's moving.
Yeah, but it wasn't white. It wasn't a white dot. It was airplane lights. It was the green and red dots.
Right. This is green and red dots. Yeah.
Yeah. And if somebody says like it's a satellite, I was like, there's no way that's a satellite. Like
not green and red dots,
the lights from it, like the illuminated lights wouldn't reach us with through the atmosphere and stuff like that. And I was like, also it's moving way faster than any plane I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Right, because we've seen planes, you know, the commercial liners. We know the speed they fly at. We've seen the jets take off, and while they're crazy fast, there's no way at that altitude you would see it moving that fast. I
always wondered, like, do you think there's secret Air Force bases? Because, like, you know, that's probably like if there is this technology that they're either testing out, which doesn't seem crazy that that the government would maybe have this like advanced technology that's maybe, you know, slightly better than anything that's commercially available. But do they have these just like these secret bases where everything operates out of them that are just like kind of top secret, or they're able to? They
definitely do have those, but I always thought that those secret bases were usually further away from populations, not like in the middle of a 300,000 person city. Like Area 51, it was out there because it was in the middle of the desert. Nobody was out there.
Yeah, we were just near there actually, and because I was driving to Las Vegas, and for a minute I told my girl about it, and then she's kind of into it. She's like, "Oh, we should go there." But if you actually go look up Area 51 on Google Maps, nothing comes up because it's top secret, even though everybody knows it exists, and there's like a little kind of like economy surrounding it. Like there's, you know, novelty stores and like restaurants and stuff, but it's actually not on maps. You can't find it on a map. because it's like not there. There's no address for Area 51 that's public. You can find it, but it's not on maps.
Yeah, and there's planes that fly straight to Area 51 out of Vegas. It's a well-known fact. But
this is at least people are saying this is like Google Maps. Like when I typed in Area 51 on Google Maps on my phone, like nothing came up.
Yeah.
I'm
not 100% sure. Maybe it is just an experimental airplane, and maybe they are testing supersonic flights or whatever. But I'm saying that I went from there's no UFOs. If there were UFOs, we wouldn't be able to see them. There's no way they would fly several light years and not have cloaking capabilities or something, or maybe there is another answer to this, that it is just secret planes being tested. But the freakiest one to me is still the first one that I ever saw, where it was flying like a normal airplane and then started moving around as if somebody was just moving around a fucking laser pointer.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It's the unnatural movements that are the ones where you go, how's that even? That just like defies physics as we know it. Have you seen that? It was just released this week. Palmer Luckey, if people don't know who he is, he's the guy who invented the Oculus headset when he was 19 years old. He invented that and then sold it to Meta. And now he's like a defense contractor. But he's like literally Tony Stark, but in real life.
Yeah.
Like people say Elon Musk is, but this guy actually is. But he's like, this kind of looks like a hippie kind of dude. And he's young, and he invented these. They're like these interceptors that they look like mini jet fighters. They're probably like 6 feet tall, and they're stored in what looks like a giant like refrigerator, almost like the size thing. And they take off, and then they can basically blow up planes. They can kind of just, they can kind of just like go get information, and they have like cameras on them or whatever. But because normally a missile, like it goes in. If it doesn't find a target, it just blows up somewhere. These can just return back to their base and shit. So they have some wild stuff coming out. And this is a private company. I'm sure they have contracts with the United States government.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy technology. Maybe it is just technology, and I'm falling for a hoax or something.
Yeah.
But
you saw them. You obviously saw these things. I guess it's just like, what's the explanation for them?
Yeah, because I can't. I'm not smart enough to explain any of this, so I don't know. My neighbor allegedly, I don't know if it's true or not, but he says my neighbor's in his late 50s. He said his father was one of the guys who helped develop some of the first laser guided missiles.
Okay.
And that if somebody had explained to him, back in the early 50s about like, no, we don't just drop bombs on people anymore. We can direct them. You'd be like, what the fuck? What are you talking? What do you mean you can direct them? You're going to fly?
Right. Yeah, you'd be like, that's like impossible.
Yeah, so, I mean, maybe it is just technology that we're just too stupid to understand so far. And if somebody tried to explain it to us, we're like, what are you, that's not possible, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and I mean, they got to test them some places. And, honestly, like so few people just are looking up in general. I feel like there's probably tons of crazy shit going on during like that you could see in the sky, but generally that's not the direction people look. They look down or straight ahead, I guess. But I don't know. Like I've seen that, that fighter pilot, and he had like the Tic Tac thing, and where it was on his camera, and these things are moving in these crazy ways that just are like, like nothing you've ever seen. Surely something must exist, but I don't know. The question is it, alien technology, or is it just the government developed them and they just have these super advanced things that, they just don't want.
They're not going to talk about.
They don't want to talk about. Yeah. They're developing it for themselves, and, it's not like some alien technology. It's just super advanced technology, like you're saying, that they just don't want released. So I don't know.
Yeah, I've taken up too much of your time, Dave.
Yeah.
I'll call again in another month. All right.
Thanks. All right, later, Pablo. Pablo, everybody. Still pussyless. Damn shame. It's a damn shame. Should we play some voicemails? I got so many voicemails. It's the 99. I have like literally, I don't know, hundreds. Oh, all right. I'll take this call. Hello. What's up, Maurice?
Hey, Danny.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How's your evening going?
Pretty good. Besides that stupid freezing thing on the thing, which I'm glad that I figured it out. but otherwise very good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty chill. I started a YouTube channel last month, so I just uploaded a video. Kind of fun. I've been
nice,
so far.
Nice. What's your YouTube channel called? Plug it.
It's called Grokking Life. It like if you want to learn engineering concepts, I would make it like I was a TA and like professor assistant in college.
Yeah,
so it was like fun to like tease and go over things again.
At Grokking Life.
Yep.
Okay.
Like my logo is like a GL.
I see it. I'm gonna drop it in the chat if anybody's interested in. Maurice is a good dude. I just put it in the chat if anybody wants to go throw him throw him a sub. And if you're interested in that, yeah.
An interesting story I did want to bring up. Did you see that BBC story about the over $1 billion of short selling that was made?
Yes. So that's. Well, yeah, I did see that. I'm curious because I think people's I don't know if I'm naive because obviously I'm sure the first thing people think. So for people who don't know, leading up to the October 7th thing, there was just like 9/11. There was a bunch of short selling that went on, which is betting against stocks on the Israeli stock exchange, and fortunes were made. And now I think a lot of people would be like, oh, well, of course, that's just like Jewish people who knew or Israelis who knew about this. But then I don't know, obviously the Israelis, it's clear, had been warned about this. They had intelligence. They've been warned about this for a while now. I think there's a few options there. I guess it could be that this kind of, some people were making money on this and they knew it was going to happen, and they let it happen because they wanted this to happen in order to further their expansionism, I guess. That's one scenario. I guess another scenario is maybe the Palestinians made this, or some Palestinian, operators made this bet because it helps them.
It'd be Iran versus.
Or whatever. So Palestinian sympathizers who are involved in this are like, hey, we can help finance this war by betting, that you can win twofold because you hurt the Israeli economy and you're betting against the Israeli economy. I don't know what to make of it, but it seems like it did happen.
Well, the crazy thing in the article that all this money was made, but it was all it was small, large chunks, and it was distributed everywhere. And I totally believe this, but a sub conspiracy is that how you mentioned that Israel was warned, but the CIA warned Israel. Mm-hmm. So there's that there were CIA agents that were all right, if Israel's not going to listen to us, let's just at least make money off it.
Let's go bad against it. Yeah, I mean the thing is somewhere, whatever the version of the Securities and Exchange Commission is in Israel, can kind of track down if there was any super outsized bets made specifically shorting in the days up into it, they can pull that up pretty easily. Just like if you trade on inside information in the United States, especially on a huge scale, if you're Martin Shkreli, when he was on this show, was saying how the way they catch you is if you've never made a short sale and then all of a sudden you go make the biggest bet of your life and it's a short sale on this one random thing,
and you win.
You win. It's just it just creates some sort of flag, and so they can find this stuff. Now, is there any will to do so? I don't know. Maybe they're we don't want to know. Maybe there's a way that they can, whoever the perpetrators were, can hide it. Because again, people there's a lot of people who just short sell as hedges where they're not actually betting against they're not betting for things to go down. They're just trying to hedge a long position. So I don't know. It is. I'd like them to look into it. Certainly. I'm sure a lot of people would.
When I read that article, it was so crazy because they brought that up that whatever, the Security Exchange of Israel is called, that at least they had no initial evidence of bad actors. But like you said, it could maybe just be routing through countries. It could be routing through hedge. Deutsche Bank does a lot of sketchy stuff with people.
The problem is you risk, because again, it is, if you're waging a war, that is a shrewd thing to do, like as just one other, like, you know, branch of your war strategy is to go bet against that economy and then just like essentially make a bunch of money.
You're just supplying your own war then. Yeah, you're like, let's make money off this.
Well, yeah, you're financing your own war, but then all those bets are made through like, you know, all licensed, regulated financial institutions, and if they find you, they'll just freeze your accounts. You know, like I imagine if all those accounts that made these bets then took all that money and then tried to, like, you know, wire it all out to some thing in like Qatar like 4 days later, like I imagine they'd try and stop that, and then you risk just losing all the money and potentially like exposing the people who did it. So I don't know. That's it is an interesting one.
Because like the article, even like what you mentioned, is that like they reference like 9/11, and like at least the article, like as far as I know, that like nobody knows who were making those bets right before 9/11.
That is a crazy one too, because again, they should be able to know that. I don't know if there was like they didn't have that
in the U.S. Like
in the United States. If you made $1 billion short bet on the S&P 500 in 2001. Like they know who you are.
On the upswing, like that was the best time of America.
Yeah, but also it's like then they weren't like lacking technology to be able to track that kind of thing. That was available. So I don't know. Maybe they. You know, I guess the super naive take would be like maybe they did investigate it and they found no wrongdoing, but likely it's maybe. You know that I don't believe. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, my belief in like the more conspiracy mind that's like it's too big of a can of worms to open up.
I mean, even now, you know, it's you know, I mean, 9/11 is the like perfect example of them knowing, and then after the fact they go, yes, our bad. I guess we knew and we didn't do anything about it. So I guess Israel can claim the same thing. They go, yeah, you know, they told us, we just didn't take it seriously. And then if they did want it to happen on purpose, and they maybe, you know, of course it's possible they did know, and they're just like, yeah, we want this to happen on purpose. That's these kinds of things are very unlikely to be able to actually get to the bottom of. So,
yeah, because especially like the craziest video about 9/11 that I don't think it gets enough attention is, did you ever see? It came out like last year, where Bush was giving a talk, like he was trying to get funding for Ukraine. And he was like, oh, this unjust invasion of Iraq.
Yeah, he actually, and he starts laughing. He's like, I mean,
and then everybody in the room just laughs. He's like, yeah, it wasn't unjust. But then, like, it just carried on.
Yeah, well, everybody's just laughing. You're like, you guys killed like 500,000 people or something, like crazy.
Right?
Under the guise of like this being a just war. And now you're just like 20 years later, literally laughing about it as you do it again.
Yeah. And like everybody in the room knew what was happening. They was like, just whatever.
Yeah, they all just Yeah, I don't know. That is a wild one though. I wonder if, my guess is we will never find out about that though. Unless it was like, the only way you will find out about who did that is if it came from like Iran or some bad actor. If it was and I guess maybe that's your answer actually, is if you don't find out about it, then it probably was some shady Israeli person, and if you do find out about it, then it wasn't. But who knows?
Yeah, it's kind of like the like mass shooter thing, you know. Like if you hear about the race of a mass shooter, like not immediately, then like, okay, I know what's going on here.
Right? Yeah, exactly. If either way, you're like, you kind of know one way or the other.
Yeah.
All right, Maurice. We're gonna wrap the show up. Thank you for calling. I'll see you I'll see you in Toronto, man.
For sure. Yeah. Thanks for all the recommendations. Thanks, Danny.
No problem. Later. People don't know this, but I got some good recommendations if you're ever going to my former city of Toronto and you need some recommendations. Hit me up. I'll help you out. Someone just showed up. Bricks, you missed the whole episode. You missed Freezegate, man. Sorry, dude. I was frozen, or lady, but probably a dude. All right, that's been the show, everybody. Thank you for joining me on another super fun, man. These open lines shows, super fun. I really do enjoy doing these. And we'll be doing these. This will be like I said, these are going to be regular episodes. We'll do 10 to 12 of these open lines, probably like 10 of these a year. I think something like that. This has been episode 88 of Low Value Mail. Please like and subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, you can do membership, Patreon, all that stuff. Likely no bathhouse tomorrow unless they miraculously fix the internet at the stand. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about it. But we'll be back the following week. And if you live in the Toronto, GTA, Greater Toronto area, December 16th, Saturday night, come check me out at the Backroom Comedy Club. It's on Bloor, right by Christie Pitts. Very limited tickets, but it should be fun. I'll be doing full kind of headline sets, and I'll have some friends there along with me. And then no episode of Low Value Mail next week either, but back the following week with Ashton Forbes talking about MH370. Thank you very much for joining me. Sorry about the tech issues. Good night, everybody. I love you all. See you very soon. Good night.
My shit heroic. Empathic abilities, yeah, my face be also stoic. Bleep, blow up, nigga. That just means I'm working. They see me as a leader, so that's why I'm Captain Kirkin. These tracks from the stars, that much is for certain. You can feel this hit if you up or if you hurt. I'm raising my stock, not talking my feet in some Birkin. Number Johnny 5 got a fucking short circuit. Bring the track to life when I spit phenomenally. When I hit, she feel that shit in her abdominals. These rappers make me laugh like comic view, they comic through. You know I got a ball out, I hit the track running just like Sonic do. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they was trying to get me on my hype shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, and they tried to down me up some KO type shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, now we pulling up pressure on some flight shit. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they was trying to get me on my hype shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, and they tried to down me up some KO type shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah.